What's up, YouTube people? It's your boy Patty McNinja, and this past weekend I binged all of the Callisto Protocol, which is a game that I've been super psyched for, and I have some thoughts. So without further ado, let's rock. Just a quick FYI, YouTube suppresses videos if you show blood and gore in the first minute or so, and Callisto Protocol has a lot of that, so lucky you get to see my beautiful face for a little bit longer. The Callisto Protocol is a new space survival horror game that was released last Friday, December 2nd. It was developed by Striking Distance Studios, which is a studio comprised mainly of several people that had worked on the Dead Space game. It was released on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I personally played it on PlayStation 5. I've heard a lot of complaints how well it runs on PC. It has very mixed reviews on Steam because it runs so poorly on PC. So if you can, I would suggest playing it on Xbox or PlayStation. I played it on PlayStation 5 and had no issues whatsoever. The Callisto Protocol follows Jacob Lee, played by Josh Duhamel, which I think is how you pronounce it. It's this sexy guy right here. Jacob gets imprisoned at Black Iron Prison on the moon Callisto, and he does his time, nothing exciting happens, and he goes home. Of course not. Shit hits the fan, the zombie outbreak happens, and he has to escape prison before he dies. The first thing that jumps out at me about this game is that it's stunningly beautiful. I often complain about face animations in video games, and no qualification whatsoever, this is the best I've ever seen. There were times where I literally thought I was watching a film with Fergie's ex-husband instead of playing a video game. I said when I played Metal Gear Solid way back on the original PlayStation that video games are never going to look better than that game looked. If you showed that kid Callisto Protocol, his head would have exploded. The environment gives you everything that you would expect from a space horror game and then some. There's so much detail put into this game and this environment. There are messages written in blood on the wall. There are body parts hanging from the ceiling. If you like blood and gore, you're going to be very, very happy with this game. And the cherry on top of that is there's a decent chunk of this game where you're playing through a snowstorm, and I absolutely love the snow if I'm not driving in it. Unfortunately, there's very little exploration in this game. There is a little bit, but it's kind of that typical, you have a path on the right and you have a path on the left. The left is the main path. The right is the little exploration that you get. And if you go right, you might be able to kill an extra few zombies, get an extra audio clip or ammo, but then it loops you right back to the main path. And the gameplay loop really kind of just consistently consists of collecting fuse boxes to open doors. The only difference is sometimes instead of one fuse box, there's two fuse boxes, and it's just kind of annoying. This game is very much on rails, literally and figuratively. A majority of this game is just walking down a hallway. And I purposely buried the lead. If you're playing this game, you're playing Callisto Protocol to piss your pants and kill zombies, and I've run out of zombies. I'm a big fan of horror films, but jump scares don't really work in movies. They kind of just piss me off. They're very predictable, but I do like them in horror video games because I'm more immersed into the game, and Callisto Protocol has a shit ton of jump scares, and most of them work because the sound design and music really set the tone for this game. Therefore, I would suggest playing with headphones and really immersing yourself. I feel like I was on the edge of my seat and freaked out by every little sound. My own footsteps scared me a lot during this game. So I started off with the positive. The horror really worked for me in this game. Unfortunately, the combat was very disappointing, and some of that had to do with my own expectations going in. I expected a survival horror game, kind of like Resident Evil 2, where you look to avoid combat. Callisto Protocol wants you to fight, and that's fine. However, the actual combat system, and there's no better way to say this, just flat out sucks. The combat makes this a baby horror game. You just dodge and strike. And the dodge system is literally just wait for an enemy to swing, hold the button. There's no timing window. It doesn't matter what direction they swing from, as long as you're holding that button. Wait for them to stop swinging and wail on them with your melee weapon. And to be honest, at first I kind of enjoyed it. It's fun for a while, but after the 20th enemy that I destroyed without getting hit, I wanted something more. The game does have guns, but I didn't really need to use them until later in the game because you have that melee weapon and it's so easy to avoid getting hit. You don't really need the guns. Also, the guns are kind of hard to use because there's almost no way to change your guns during combat if you run out of ammo because there's a little bit of an animation lock. And the same can be said about healing. It takes what feels like a good 10 minutes to heal, so you really can't do that during combat. All that being said, there is a decent chunk of the game where you have these blind enemies that you can kill in traps, and I did have a lot of fun with that. Outside of the traps, I was really disappointed in the combat for this game. Unfortunately, the same can be said about the few boss battles in Callisto Protocol. Really, there's only one boss, and then there's a mini boss you fight several times. And if you get good at the dodge system, the mini boss is stupid easy, and they recycle him for no good reason. Like literally, he just shows up for no reason whatsoever throughout the game. And the main boss is literally one of the most frustrating boss battles I've ever had. Review or no review, I wanted to quit the game when I had to fight this boss. I literally almost scrapped this entire video because of him. For any of you achievement/trophy hunters out there, this game is very loose with its trophies. I got my first one within the first 5 minutes of playing this game, and I think there was even a stretch where I got 2 in 10 minutes by just doing the next objective. So they are very loose with their trophies. I think I got like 75% on my first playthrough. However, if you miss anything, there is no chapter select. So unless you were doing manual saves along the way, you're pretty much screwed if you miss anything. And to make matters worse, there is no New Game Plus. I did read somewhere that they're adding New Game Plus in February, but it's 2022. A game like this should just have New Game Plus standard. Man, I wanted to love Callisto Protocol. I'm a big fan of horror games. I was very psyched for this game, and it looks amazing. I can't stress enough how beautiful this game is, but between its really easy combat and bare minimum script, I was pretty relieved when I was done with it, which is super disappointing because I think this game had a lot of potential. It was made by people who clearly have a passion for this genre. There was a lot of love that was put into this game, but they just needed more time to work it out because they left a lot of meat on the bone as far as this game is concerned. So as we are right now, I can't recommend this game. I would give it 2.5 stars out of 5, but I'm hoping that we have a situation kind of like No Man's Sky or Master Chief Collection where there is a planned season pass. It's clear that they're going to continue to work on this game. Maybe they can iron some stuff out. Maybe they can make it better. I hope to revisit this game in a year or 2 or even 3, and it's a much better experience because it does have a lot of potential and there is some fun to be had in stretches during this game. But as it is right now, I just can't recommend it. Well, there you have it, folks. That is my review on the Callisto Protocol. Of course, those are just my opinions. I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button, as the kids say. Consider subscribing. If you do subscribe, ding that bell. That way you get notified every time I post a video. I try to put out weekly gaming related content, so definitely consider subscribing if you're interested in that type of content. But until next time, take it easy. What's up, YouTube people? It's your boy Patty McNinja, and this is my boy Yoshi, aka Kitty Boy, and we were just talking and we agree that since you made it this far in the video, you might as well subscribe. You wouldn't want to disappoint Kitty Boy, would you?